Oh, I like this music. Welcome back, guys. Hello. Welcome back to our Tuesday chat show here. Today we're gonna be talking about Europe, one of my favorite places to visit. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my show. It is 7 p.m. on Tuesday, and this is what we do here on Travel Adventures. If you guys are new to the channel, welcome in, and thank you so much for checking my channel and being here today with me. My name is Jackie Gonzalez. I am an Expedia cruise um, travel agent. Look at me. I'm over here forgetting who I am already. But if you guys have been here before, welcome back, guys. So happy to have you back on the show. I just got back from Puerto Rico. Whoa, what a trip. One that I will never forget. A lot of stuff happened in Puerto Rico. And yeah, I couldn't do the vlogs that I wanted to do because we had a situation with my little daughter, Sophie, which you guys already know on this channel. She got sick in Puerto Rico, and I wasn't able to do too much after that. So in the future, when you guys see some vlogs, you're actually probably going to see just two because there was only two excursions that we actually completed. But for the rest of the trip, there was nothing else because I was attending to her, making sure she was okay. So I'm going to do a shout out to Danielle and Jen. Thank you guys for helping me out in Puerto Rico with this situation. I appreciate it, and I love you guys with all of my heart. Thank you for being there for me and my family during that time of need, for sure. I love my community, and you guys truly stepped up to the game on that day when I actually reached out to you guys with my situation. But yeah, with that being said, guys, we're going to talk about Europe today. And I'm so looking forward to this conversation with you guys because I've been to Europe. I fell in love with Europe. And I can't wait to tell you all the cool things that you can do in Europe if you're a first time cruiser or traveler over there to Europe. So, with that being said, guys, let's start the show because there's a lot to unpack here. If you guys have any questions, or if you guys want to input about something that, if you've been to Europe and you guys want to input some information, put it on the comments. I would love to see, your comments and all of that. But I actually wrote a whole lot of stuff and I can't wait to go back. We're going back in 2028. We're going to be going back to Europe. I still haven't finalized any plans because I'm waiting for the cruise to drop those dates so that I can then start, adding all this good information and all of that. But with that being said, we're going to talk about what are the things that you can do for a first time traveler in Europe. When I actually started researching, because I actually went to Rome, and then we went on a cruise that took us all over the place. And then we ended up in Barcelona, and then from Barcelona to Paris. So when I started researching for Europe, I wanted to maximize as much as I could my stay there. We actually did I think it was like 17 days total up there in Europe. So we did 3 days in Rome, then we had an 8-day cruise, then we had 2 nights, a night and a half in Barcelona, and then 3 nights in Paris. Then from there, we flew from Paris to Switzerland back home. That's how we did Europe. So even though that, Europe has an incredible mix of iconic cities, guys, because they really do, like coastal escapes, like mountains, historic villages. There are a lot of different destinations that you guys might want to consider when traveling as the first time over there in Europe. The number one pick is Paris, France. If you know a little bit about Paris, or maybe you've never heard, in Paris, you have the Eiffel Tower, the Louvre Museum, the Notre Dame Cathedral, the Seine River cruises, the charming cafes and shoppings in that area, in the Champs Isles. So you have all of that there in Paris. Now, if you wanted to go and visit like Rome, Italy, you have the Colosseum, the Vatican City, the Trevi Fountain, the Pantheon, and the authentic Italian cuisine. Guys, let me tell you, that food over there was amazing. Especially like I really enjoyed the lasagna in Paris. I still think about it every so often. Now, if you guys were considering maybe possibly going to Santorini, Greece, over there, and I'm giving you this information, but then we're gonna go and kind of like go into all of this stuff later down the road. So it's famous for the whitewashed buildings, the blue dome churches, the stunning sunsets, the luxury resorts, wine tasting on there. Barcelona, Spain is highlighted as the Sagrada Familia, the park. The Park Güell, the Mediterranean beaches, the Tapas Bar, and the Gothic Quarters there in Barcelona. If you guys are maybe thinking of going to Amsterdam or the Netherlands, you might want to check out the Canal Cruises, the Anne Frank House, the Van Gogh Museum, the tulip season, beautiful during the spring, guys. If you're thinking of maybe doing the Swiss Alps, believe it or not, people do go over there. They have the scenic train rides, the hiking, skiing, mountain villages, the breathtaking alpine views. If you are a person that wanted, and I had a client today, we were talking about this. He's trying to visit the fjords, the Norwegian fjords. Up there, you got the spectacular waterfalls, the Flam Railway, the Virgin Colorful Harbor. The kayaking and the hiking is amazing there in the fjords. If you're thinking of Dubrovnik, Croatia, the medieval city walls, crystal clear Adriatic sea, the historic old town, the island excursions, Vienna, Austria, the imperial palaces, the classical music, the coffee and the culture, Christmas markets during the winter. And if you're thinking of maybe going to Prague, the Czech Republic, fairy tale architectural, the Prague Castle, Charles Bridge, the affordable dining and beer, and bonus destinations, because there's so many different places that you guys can actually go, is the Edinburgh, Scotland, Lisbon, Portugal, Reykjavik, Iceland, the Copenhagen, Denmark, Budapest, Venice, Italy, Munich, Germany, Lake Blend, Slovenia, and Cinque Terre in Italy. So guys, think about all of these places that we name. Welcome in, Samara. Thank you, guys. Thank you for being here. Donnell and Jen, thank you guys so much for being here. And everybody that does not comment, guys, thank you so much for being here with me today. But these are most of the things that are the places that we can visit in Europe. And there's plenty more to do. But we're going to talk about different places we can visit, what you can do. And we're going to talk about the top destinations that people tend to visit the most when going into Europe, guys. If there's a destination that that you're thinking of, that you maybe went there and you like it, put it in the comments. Let me know, what is it that you like? Where did you go? What did you do? What was your favorite food? That way people can see, what, the different things that you guys did, and maybe they get some information from you guys. Donnell, Malta is one of those that I want to go. So I'm actually waiting for the Greece cruises to come out, but I want one that actually stops in Malta for sure. So we're going to start talking about, because I have the top 10. And as you guys know, I went to Paris. Paris is number one, believe it or not. It is the number one place most visited in Europe, is Paris, France. And some people might say, why would we want to visit Paris? It's the city of lights, guys. It's known for the romance and the iconic landmarks in Paris, like the Eiffel Tower, the Louvre Museum, because everybody wants to go see the Mona Lisa, and she's actually there. The Seine River Cruise, the Notre Dame Cathedral, and the charming cafes. So you have all of these different types of different things that you can do there. And there's plenty more. It's not just the Eiffel Tower that you can do in there. There's plenty of shopping. There's plenty of sightseeing. You could do the Seine River. You could go to Disney World in Paris. And if you're a Disney fanatic like Samara is, Disney over there is $74 the entrance per person, compared to what is here in Orlando, that we're almost in the 200s already. So, and there's different places to eat there at Disney, not at Disney, in Paris. A lot of great places to visit. amazing like bakeries and all sorts of really cool shops that you can do there in Paris, France, while you're visiting there. I truly enjoyed it when I went. I had an amazing time. The 3 days that I was in Paris, we did a lot of sightseeing, a lot of walking. We went there we visited, let me see, we visited the Louvre. We went to the Eiffel Tower. I went to see Emily in Paris where it was filmed. And for those of you that are like into Emily in Paris, guys, that is a must see. And I don't know if you guys know, but Emily's actually having some sort of, I think you have to log in into Emily in Paris and you get to input your information and you will win like 2 flights with hotel and everything. And you get to see how they film their show. So I'm actually thinking about doing something like that because I love the show. I love Emily in Paris. And it was really cool to actually be able to visit that place. If you guys want to see that, check out the vlogs because all the vlogs are out there of all the places that we went. And that'll kind of help you with the different places that we visited while we were there, because there's so much to see in one area that, you got to go prepare with nice sneakers. Don't buy any new sneakers to walk because you need something that is comfortable for your feet because you're going to be walking a whole lot. Sometimes we used to walk anywhere between 15,000 to 20 something thousand steps per day. I know that at the end of our 18 or 17 days, we did 65 miles of walking. Ridiculous because we counted them and I tracked everything. It was crazy how much walking you do over there in Europe. For number 2, we have Santorini, Greece is our number 2 contender. And it's one of the world's most beautiful islands to go visit, guys. That is one of the places that I want to go visit in 2028. I personally have not been there. I'm looking forward to actually going there. And Santorini is one of those places where people like to go because they have the whitewashed villages, the stunning places to visit. They have also Via is there too as well in Paris. So there is just so much to see. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Because I had looked for some information on here. So in Greece, like you have Via, you have all these really cool places to visit there while you're there in that area. So it's just so amazing and it's just exclusivity for like the people. You have like the blue domes there in the churches, the stunning sunset, the luxury resorts, and also the wine tasting. I know that in Santorini, Greece, if you are a Royal Caribbean loyal to Royal, they actually open a Santorini how would you call it? A Santorini. It's kind of like a perfect day, like an island, but they actually open one in Santorini. I forgot what it's called. I don't have it right in front of me. But it's just stunning, guys. It is simply stunning. Edna, hello, mommy. How are you? Nice to see you on the channel. Welcome in. And for those of you that know, Edna has her own channel, and she also on Wednesdays have a live stream there. So shout out to Edna's World here. I haven't been to Santorini, but I have no desire to overcrowd my minimal access. I know there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people there in Santorini for sure, Donnell. So one day I'm going to go there and I'm going to conquer all of that area there. And I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see the Blue Dome churches, which if you guys don't know, if you want to see the Blue Domes, that's in Oia. It's spelled Oia. And you can take a like a taxi or something to take you there because I don't think it's far from Athens if that's where you're planning on going. So now that we talk about Santorini and all of that and Paris, another amazing place, it's Rome. Guys, I fell in love with Rome when we got there. It's just so pretty. The trees are different. It's just the historical sites to see there are mesmerizing, to be honest with you. Like I fell in love with the Colosseum, and especially like when you start watching all these movies and when you have it in front of you, it's so different than when you're actually seeing it on TV. And it's just the history of it. When you're there, you immerse yourself in that historical part of it, and you just fell in love with Rome is so pretty. Visited the Colosseum. I visited the Vatican City. Went to the Trevi Fountain, which I want to go back again, because when we went, they were cleaning it, so it was no water in there. So one day I want to go back and see it with the water. The Pantheon was amazing. The authentic Italian cuisine, oh my God, it was delightful. The food is so good over there. It's just amazing to go visit and enjoy and kind of take in that whole history part of it and all the different buildings and the people. And it was just great. And we had a great tour guide while we were there in Rome. And shout out to him. He was amazing when it came to our tour guide, guys. It was amazing. The Roman pizza is amazing, guys. We had pizza as soon as we landed. We went to the hotel. Back then, when we went, we sat at the Best Western Presidential. Now they actually changed it to something else. But we changed our clothes, took a shower, and we went to the Pantheon because we had an actual excursion that first evening. And once we finished the excursion, we had pizza. Oh my God, pizza was amazing. It was great. I loved it. And it's just so pretty, like the different places to visit, especially like when you go to a brand new place and a place that you have never been. You just mesmerize yourself with it. And at the end of it, you just fell in love. You fell in love with Europe and their culture, all the people, everything around it is just so beautiful. So if you've never been, I do encourage you guys to go, because you guys are going to have an amazing time for sure. So it's just breathtaking, guys, for sure. We're going to talk a little bit about Barcelona, Spain. And Barcelona, Spain, we have the Sagrada Familia. And actually, talking about the Sagrada Familia, I know that Donnell and Jen, which I still have it, I have it in my car. They gave me this little charm that came from there. And I have it in my car, in my by my little window. I put it there in my car. So thank you, Donnell and Jen, for that. And guys, when I actually saw this with my own eyes, because guys, it's not the same when you watch it like on TV or on a picture or anything like that. It's majestic. It is crazy. It is so pretty. It's beautiful outside and inside. And they still haven't even finished it because they're still building more. I think that they said that it was going to be finished either 2034 or something like that. It's crazy. How many years in the making? Even the guy that started doing it is no longer here in this planet, and they're still building, this church. It's beautiful. It's breathtaking. It's crazy because when I went with Jeffy studied like all of these different historical sites, and he was in tears, guys, when he was there. It really touched them. He was super happy to be able to, enjoy that part of history that he studied so hard with. So it was really, really cool. So you got the park of there that you can visit. The Mediterranean beaches are so different, guys, over there. They're very kind of like rocky. It's not like ours that is more sandy. Some of them are sandy, but some of them are like a little bit rocky. And people walk on it like if it was no day. Tapas bars are amazing in Barcelona. And the Gothic Quarters, it's a great place to go visit as well. We saw the new cross on top in May. Oh my gosh, so you actually got to see that part of it. That is so cool. That is so cool, Donnell. During a peak travel, it's best to buy tickets with a tour. Wait can be. That is true, Jen. And that's another tip that Jen and Donnell gave me. I use Get Your Guide. That's the people that I actually use, the company, not the people. The company that I use was Get Your Guide. I never had a problem with any of their tours. Everything went flawlessly, to be honest with you. The only hiccup that I had was in Rome when we're going to do the Colosseum, because the way that it was set up, it was a little weird, but it was across the street from where we're supposed to meet. So it was not like a big situation. But just keep in mind, try to always go to these tours a little bit, like 20 minutes ahead of time, just in case if you get a little lost with direction, you still are, you can make it there in time. So yeah, get your guide is the best. And I'm actually gonna put it on here on the stream. It's called your hold on, hold on. Getyourguide.com. I don't get any commission out of that, but you guys have the information there. That's how you will find it. And thanks to Donnell and Jen that gave me that information. That's what I used when I went to Europe and never had a problem. Other than we had one excursion that was canceled, which was the hop on, hop off on the first evening. And it was going to include a pizza. And the only reason why they canceled it is because they were having some major something was going on in Rome that day. So they decided to cancel it. That was the only thing. But they refunded our money back immediately. So keep in mind when you're traveling there. If we talk a little bit about Amsterdam and the Netherlands, I personally have never been, but I've seen a lot of vlogs and things like that. That place looks amazing. That's a place that I will definitely have on my bucket list to go visit, because on there you can do the canal cruising. You can visit the Anne Frank's house, the Van Gogh Museum, and the tulip season during the springtime. I've heard that it's very pretty. To go check those out during that time. So keep in mind that if you're traveling there, do a little research and see, what are the famous places to go visit. And depending on how much time you got, you're going to be staying there, then you can kind of like figure out what is the top maybe 2 or 3 things that you really want to see during that time there. So that way, that, you're not pressed for time. You don't want to be in a rush. You really want to take it all in. Hello, Scott from the Mustard Drill. Be prepared to ride a bike. Definitely be prepared to ride a bike on there as well, for sure, because it's one of those places that's what you do is ride a bike. Look, Donnell says she wants to go to Prague. So yeah, Amsterdam is one of those places definitely that you want to make sure that you know how to ride a bike, because that's what you're probably going to be doing. I think that's pretty cool to do it as an excursion, riding a bike, around the neighborhood, getting to see all of the beautiful of Amsterdam. Like I said, I've never been either to the Swiss Alps. I've never been there. I don't know how many of you guys have ever been. But it looks very cool. It's a good place to go visit. Very nice. It's a scenic. They actually have train rides there for you. You could do hiking, skiing, mountain villages, and breathtaking alpine views. There's a peak over there. I don't know if you ever seen it in the Swiss Alps. There's a peak over there that's like really, really high. And it looks breathtaking just to see it. And you see like kind of like the peak on top, and then you have the neighborhood on the bottom of it. It just looks amazing to actually visit that place one day. She also wants to go to Belgium. Hey guys, you just let me know and I can get you anywhere you all want. Let's talk a little bit about the new region fjords, guys. There's different ways to visit the fjords. You could do a couple of stops at the fjords, or you could do a 14 to 21 days and actually get to visit all of the fjords. So depending on your budget and depending on how much you want to see, you could have those types of different cruises. You can do a 7-day cruise, or you can do a 14 to 21 and get to visit all of it. And the cruise travelers, the best place to do is that they're spectacular for the waterfalls, their Flam Railway, their Virgin Colorful Harbor, and kayaking and hiking there in the fjords. I guess it's a must, because that's one of the things that they have ideal for cruise travelers. So if you're ever going on a cruise or anything like that, guys, you must do one of these things, and let me know how that went. Because let me tell you, when I'm going to Alaska next year, And I actually found out that you can snorkel in Alaska. That's kind of strange, but yeah, you can do that over there. So I'm not gonna snorkel in Alaska because that water is cold. But I'm gonna guess they give you something, for the heat of the water thing. She also wants to go. Okay, so we talked about Belgium, and all of that. So we're okay with that. Let's talk a little bit about Dubrovnik and Croatia. Dubrovnik, Croatia is a beautiful place to go visit. Not sure how many of you guys have actually gone to Dubrovnik, but I've heard very good things about this. Like they have the medieval city walls, and you'd be surprised because some of these places in Europe is, if you guys watch the Game of Thrones, some of these places over there is where these things get filmed. So you might be in a place where one of these films have been taking place. So they have the medieval city walls there, the crystal clear Adriatic Sea. In Croatia, they have the historical old town, and they have island excursions as well. And over there in Croatia, it kind of looks a little bit like kind of like the Caribbean, but with a medieval kind of look, you could say. In Croatia, when I was researching these places and kind of looking at, the different vibes that they have there. So it kind of like have some areas where it looks Caribbean-y, and then it has that look of medieval. So it's kind of like really, really nice, that, the way that they have it there. Another place, I don't know how many of you guys have ever even thought about going. It's Austria, like Vienna. It's one of those places that you have like these really beautiful palaces, like the imperial palaces. They have classical music there. Supposedly the coffee is something about, that is really good in that culture. And Vienna is one of those places known for their Christmas markets, which you get to see during the Christmas season, over there when you're visiting Austria, guys. The old city is amazing. So it's just so pretty to go and visit places, and you guys take it all in. Like I've never been to a place where they actually have like a palace. It's in my bucket list to do one day. Even though that on our Europe trip, we visit a lot of different churches. I think we did so many churches during that trip. I didn't get to see, we only saw one castle, and I forgot where it was right now. And, but to see those types of palaces is just crazy and amazing to see. In the meantime, I'm going to take a little break. I'm going to show you this, and you let me know if you guys want to come along with
Good
me.
afternoon, everybody. We've got an exciting group cruise announcement for you. This time around, it's going to be a very special occasion, as we have managed to get an invite to the inaugural sailing of the one and only MSC World Atlantic. This time around, we'll be sailing out from Port Canaveral in Orlando, Florida on November 13th, 2027. From there, the ship will be docking at Nassau in the Bahamas on the 14th and MSC's private Ocean Cay Marine Reserve on the 15th. After that, there'll be a relaxing day at sea where you can be one of the first people to explore this lovely new ship. On the 17th, they'll be docking in Cozumel, Mexico, followed by Costa Maya in Mexico on the 18th. From there, a single day at sea will be taking you back to Orlando to conclude the inaugural sailing. Be sure to book your cabins quick, as inaugurals like this tend to sell out really fast. You can contact us at jagonzalez@expediacruises.com or call us directly at 813-608-2935. We hope to see you on board with us.
Well, there you guys have it. If you guys want to come into our World Atlantic next year as inaugural sailing, just give me a call, and I can't wait to see you guys there. Well, Donnell says she stayed in a palace in Lisbon. That must have been amazing, Donnell, for sure, to even stay in a palace. Like, oh my God, that'll be great. I don't know how many of you guys do the 90-day fiance. They're doing the last resort, and they're in some castle somewhere, and it's really cool the way that castle is, how the rooms look. I would love to stay in a place like that. So our next one that we're going to be talking about is Prague. It's in the Czech Republic, and this is one of the places Donnell says she wants to go. And in this place, it's very known for their fairy tale architectural, Prague Castle, the Charles Bridge, affordable dining and beer. And it's just one of those places. It looks beautiful, though. I looked at the at some of the pictures, and they have like this really cool, like you could say bridge. It's one of the oldest bridge in that area, and it looks so pretty the way that the bridge is, and the architectural of it, and the buildings are so nice. And then they have kind of like this plaza area that is kind of like open, and all these buildings right next to them, and it just looks amazing to visit this place. I bet that whenever like the food and all of that must be really kind of cool, and they must have like really great different types of, like how would I say, different types of cuisine there, because they like their food is different than any other place. So it's really nice to go visit these types of places and get to immerse yourself in the culture. Love that last resort, the castle. Yeah, the castle is really cool. If you guys have never seen, of you've never seen 90 Day Fiance, the last resort, guys, go check it out. They're staying in a castle. There's a lot of drama going on, but I was looking at the castle and it's really, really cool. So yeah, I can't wait. I don't know if today's another episode or whatever. So a little bit about the different things since we talked. We talked about visiting the iconic cities like Paris, Rome, Prague, and Amsterdam in the Netherlands, exploring some of the fairy tale villages like Holstein, Austria, Cinque Terre, Italy. Guys, Cinque Terre is actually you never even used to hear about Cinque Terre, and now all of a sudden everybody and their grandparents are all going there. It's so pretty. It is a very small little town, but it's so beautiful, and the different things that you can do in Cinque Terre is amazing. So if you've never heard of them and you want to know what's on the know right now, that is one of the most famous places to actually visit right now is Cinque Terre in Europe. You also have Colmar, France, and you have Geinthor in the Netherlands. And also, like if you're going by cruise and cruise or train, you can experience the natural wonders over there. So don't miss cruising through the Norwegian forts, because those are natural wonders, riding the scenic train in the Swiss Alps, walking through the lakes of National Park of Croatia, visiting the Ireland cliffs of Moher, and eating the local foods. Like every country has a signature dish worth trying. Okay. So in Italy, you want to do the pizza, the pastas, the gelatos. In France, you want to do the croissants, the cheese, and the pastries. In Spain, the tapas and the paella. In Germany, the bratwurst and the pretzels. And Greece, the gyros and the fresh seafood. And Portugal, the pastéis de nata. I hope I said that right, guys. But those are the iconic places and the things that you want to really go eat. So it's going to be all sorts of good stuff. So make sure that you try those. If you're visiting historic castles, some of Europe's most famous castles includes the the Edinburgh Castle, the Windsor, and oh my god, I'm gonna butcher this name. It's called Hosenburg Fortress in Austria. Those castles are amazing. If that's something that you're into and that's what you want to see. If you're looking to maybe kind of like relax and kind of like have a relaxation and beautiful beaches, I got you guys, because you guys can go Santorini, Greece, Amalfi Coast, Italy, the Algarve, Portugal, Dubrovnik, Croatia has those destinations has beautiful beaches, and that you're able to relax. Now, if you want to visit famous museums, obviously the Louvre in Paris, the Vatican. Guys, if you're doing the Vatican, do a tour. Don't wait till the last minute to try and walk into the Vatican, because you probably ain't going to get in. You got to do a tour. You also have the Prado Museum. If you guys are thinking of maybe ride a scenic train, Euro Rail Network makes travel easy and scenic. You could do the Glacier Express in Switzerland, the Bernina Express Switzerland to Italy, and the West Highland Line in Scotland. to attend local festivals depending on the season that you're going. You could do the Oktoberfest in Germany, the Carnival in Venice, Italy, Christmas markets in Germany, Austria, and Czech Republic, and La Tomatina in Spain. If you want to take over a river or an ocean cruise, the Rhine River, the Danube, Norwegian fjords, the Mediterranean cruises, visiting Spain, France, Italy, and Greece. And if you want to sample like a 14-day time Europe itinerary, then I will say 3 days in London, 3 days in Paris, 2 days in Amsterdam, 3 days in Switzerland, and 3 days in Rome. This route will offer you a mix of iconic landmarks, history, mountain scenery, and great food. If you're creating, if you want to create something a little bit more romantic, then I would suggest in either of those five, maybe you want to stick in there Paris and make it another 3 days in Paris, or if you want to remove London and add Paris or anything like that. But you can mix and match if you're trying to do something like that, because you guys are gonna love it. It is so simply beautiful up there. It's not gonna disappoint you. So don't be worried about the language or anything like that, because they speak English very well over there. Even though they have their language, they can understand your language. You can do it, the exchange of American money to either their exchange money over there in Europe. So there's different things that you can do. Make sure that you do your due diligence to put an itinerary together. Don't do it really like a tight itinerary. Leave some room for relaxation and enjoyment for you, because you don't want to do like a go 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 go, and then you kind of like miss out on a lot of different enjoyable times there in Europe. The town of Windsor was so cute. Oh, I bet, because you guys have been there. It's just so pretty to go to Windsor and all of that. So guys, like I said, if you've never been to Europe, it's just breathtaking. Don't be scared to jump, and go that route. I know that depending on where you're leaving from, when I left out of Miami, and it was all together between Miami to Lisbon and Lisbon to Rome. It was a 14-hour flight, putting it together with the layover. And just don't be scared to do it, because you're going to love it. Once you go over there for the first time, it happened to me. I went there, with an open mind. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I've never been over there. And guys, when I got over there and I started seeing all these places and really going and taking it all in, because when I went there, give me a second. I'm going to tell you exactly where I went, because if we went, our itinerary was a little crazy. Hold on. Let me look up my itinerary, because I'm going to tell you exactly all the different ports of calls that we did. Give me a second. I should have had this open. Let me see. Here it is. Okay, so my itinerary when I went to visit Europe. So, like I said, we did 3 days in Rome. So we did Rome for 3 days. So on our first day, we did the Pantheon and we had pizza. We did the Trevi Fountain on that day. Then the next day, we did the Colosseum and the Vatican. And then the following day, we just kind of like went around and checked out the different sightseeing things and walked around in the area, because there's a lot to see there. And we had amazing food and all of that. You got to see it on the vlogs. If you want to go check out the vlogs, it's all in there. Then we took the transportation bus from Rome to Civitavecchia. And then we visited Sicily, Messina. We visited Portofino. Guys, Portofino, It's a must. I fell in love with Portofino. I love Portofino. That's what's one of my favorite places to visit was Portofino. Loved it. Fell in love with it. Then the next day we went to Florence, Pisa, and La Spezia. And guys, whenever you go to Florence and you see Florence, the ship does not dock in Florence. It docks in La Spezia. And then from there, you can go to Florence or you can go to Pisa. We decided to do Pisa and Lucca for that one, and it was fantastic. I love more Lucca than I did Pisa, but Pisa, I went for the Leaning Tower of Pisa, but Lucca was simply breathtaking. Loved Lucca. Then we went to Cannes, France, and we went to Palma de Mallorca, Spain, which is beautiful on its own. And if you're going to go to that cathedral there, don't do the excursion through the cruise line, because you could take a taxi there, and the price of the church was like about $10 a person. You can go online and you can pre-purchase your tickets ahead of time. We took a taxi, and the taxi just took us there, and then they dropped us off in the middle. It's kind of like a downtown area, and we went to the church. We did all the church things that we needed to do there, and then we just walked around, had some lunch there. It was phenomenal. And then the ship dropped us off in Barcelona. So in Barcelona, we had an excursion to go see the Sagrada Familia. We walked all that area. We saw the church, and we did all the little Barcelona things that we needed to do there. We got on a plane, and then we went to Paris. In Paris, we did the 3-night stay. We went to the Eiffel Tower, the Louvre Museum. What else did we do in Paris? We went to Disney. Disney took us like almost a whole day in Disney, and then we did the Eiffel Tower at night, and we did it during the day. So we did both on there, and then we had all the different foods that we could have possibly found there in Paris, guys. It was just breathtaking. And in Paris, there's so many places to see, and so many places to visit, and so many different croissants that you can taste, whether with chocolate, with no chocolate. I know that Emily, she sometimes comes to the channel. She told me you got to do I think it's called the Mont. I forgot what it's called. It's a sandwich that is kind of like cheesy. It was really good. I did the lasagna, and guys, oh my God, I can't wait to go back and try the lasagna again. Then we did some shopping. We went to the Arc of the Triumph there in Paris. And we did some shopping. You could buy, oh my God, what else you can get over there? There's so many different things that you can see in Paris. It's just so pretty. And from there, the last night, we got up the next morning, and then we flew to Switzerland. Guys, Switzerland is beautiful. Not sure how many of you guys have been to Switzerland. It's just simply beautiful and stunning. I love the little houses in Switzerland, and all the little cows and the little fields. It was just so pretty, especially when you're coming in through the plane and you can see them from the sky. It's just so breathtaking. We didn't spend a whole lot of time in Switzerland because we were doing a connection there. And then we were doing, which it was kind of strange because we flew from Paris to Switzerland, and then our longer flight was from Switzerland back to Miami, and we went through Paris again. So it was kind of crazy. But look, I actually saw Switzerland, and I told my husband, I said, you know what? One day I'm going to have to come back to Switzerland and actually get to do all the Switzerlandy things to do over there. So if you can do a cruise line in Europe, which one would you do next? If money's was, I would definitely, I am a celebrity cruiser. And when we did Europe, we did Celebrity Ascent. When we're going to go to Greece, I'm thinking of doing Celebrity Excel, but I'm actually looking into other lines just in case, because these trips are not, they're not cheap to go and do. So we're looking to see where we can cut a little bit to extend a little bit more in other places. So over there, you have MSC Cruises, you have Norwegian, you have Royal Caribbean, you have Virgin Voyage, you have Celebrity. You have Aida up there, P&O. There's all sorts of different cruise lines out there that you don't rarely see over here in the United States. My dad is ready to join you in Europe virtually. Laugh out loud. Hey, Samara, if your dad wants to come along in our Europe, he's more than welcome to. I'm gonna try to do like a group for our Europe trip because when we went to Europe last year, I did a group and we were a group of about 24 people, which it was kind of like cool. And I really enjoyed it because we had enough time. We didn't do like the beginning, like all of us flew into Rome and then we did the whole cruise together. And once we ended up in Barcelona, some people came back home. I was the one who did the Paris part and all of that, because it's like you're already over there. And I'll be honest with you guys, if you've never done it, traveling domestically in Europe is way cheaper than traveling domestically here in the United States because my flight from Barcelona to Paris was only $35. And with the luggages that we had per person, I think I might have paid $75 each from Barcelona to Paris. And in Paris, we did a 3-night stay and I got in an Airbnb up there. So it was probably like another $400 or $500 for the 3-night stay because it was not that expensive. Now, and where I was staying, we were literally like across from the Notre Dame church. So we got off of our Airbnb, maybe we walked not even 40 steps and boom, she was right there in front. So we were in a nice place. I would have rather maybe next time when I go, I might stay more centralized. So it'll be more closer like to everything. But I was happy where I was. I wasn't too far from the Eiffel Tower. We were walking distance from the Louvre as well. So, where I looked at it, it was not far. But the reason why I stood there, it was because I was closer to the train that was going to take me to Disneyland. And keep in mind, guys, if you're going to Disney and you take that train, it's probably going to take you about 30 minutes to get there from the Notre Dame area all the way to where Disneyland is. So keep in mind, the distance and all of that. Unless you want to stay in Disney property, you could stay in Disney property and then go back and forth. But I think it's best to stay in the middle of the city and then travel to Disney, because if you're going to be doing a lot more over here than you're going to be doing in Disney. Unless all you're doing is Disney, then then stay probably closer to the Disney resorts and things like that. But yeah, it's beautiful. Traveling to Europe, I had an amazing experience. Never had an issue when it came to language barrier or anything like that. I will say that when you're exchanging your money, your American money, try to do it here with your bank if you can, because sometimes even the exchange people would cost you a little bit more than your bank will, because we checked it through, I have Chase, and we checked it through Chase, and Chase gave us more than when we did, if you were to go ahead and do the exchange over there or even at the airport. So keep that in mind. Always keep an eye on the funds, the difference, because I think for every $1,000, it was kind of like the difference was like about $240 something difference. So you have to keep a vigilant in the exchange rate for the euros. So keep that in mind when traveling, that you have to exchange to your euros. Or if you're going someplace else that they don't use euros, then you got to figure out what the exchange rate is for that. You don't want to like lose out on a whole lot of money when you're trying to exchange. And try to exchange as much as you think you need and a little bit more. So that way you have extra. You don't have to continue to exchange and continue to lose money because you don't know what the exchange rate is going to be on a daily basis. So just keep that in mind when going over there. Try to pack lightly, don't take a lot of luggage with you, because sometimes, depending on where you're staying, you might have to haul your luggage either on a train or on a taxi or stairs, because it's very different. One thing that I noticed about when I went to Europe, I did not see scooters or anything like that. And Donnell and Jen is here. They've been over there. Maybe they seen something like that. I did not see that. I didn't see any scooters. I did not see anybody, with they had like a, how do you call it, a wheelchair or walker. I didn't see anybody up there. A lot of people were using their bikes to go everywhere. Also, that's true. What Danielle says. Also, a credit card with no foreign exchange rates. That is a must. You make sure you call your credit cards. You verify which one is the better deal for you, because that's going to help you along. Also, if you buy high-end products over there, like the high-end bags or jewelry or anything like that, they're going to give you a ticket. And then when you get to the airport, you can get your taxes back on that. You can either put it there and leave it and they'll mail it to you, or put it back on your credit card, or you can cash it out. If you want to wait in line, you can cash it out and bring the cash back with you. Especially in Venice, no accessibility. Yeah, there's a lot of places where there's no accessibility. I personally, like I said, guys, I am all for accessibilities, but I didn't even see anything like that over there. Not even on the cruise that we were in, or in any of the excursions or anything like that. I didn't see anybody that had any walkers or any wheelchairs or any scooters like how you see here in the Caribbean and the United States. Nothing like that, which was kind of strange. I'm not going to lie to you, because it was kind of like weird, because, we're so used to seeing that here in the United States. Also keep coins for the bathroom, because they do charge like $1, like €1. Not all the places. Some places, I think when we went to, was it Portofino? I think in Portofino, my son Jaden and Martine had to go use the restroom, and I think they charged like a €1 to use the bathroom there. I could be wrong if it was not Portofino, but I know one of those stops, they actually you do have to pay for bathrooms. Not everywhere you go, but just keep in mind that you got to bring either a coin or euro or something, just in case, because you don't want to end up having to use the bathroom and you don't have any cash on you. But yeah, keep it simple, pack lightly, take your camera, put everything down, do an itinerary. If you're going to take the train to go from one place to the other, make sure that you're safe at all time. Taking the trains, keep in mind that you're going to a foreign country. You're not in your own country. There are pickpocketers out there, guys. They're keeping an eye on you. But mainly the pickpocketing people are where there's a lot of people congregated. Like if you're getting off on the Disney area, they're going to be there, guys. They are going to be there because we've seen them. If you're going to be like where the Louvre is, where there's a lot of people, you might have them there. And it's not just Paris, it's everywhere you go. Because when we went to visit the Pisa, the Leaning Tower of Pisa, our tour guide, I guess they know these people. They were keeping an eye watch. And it's kind of funny because we get like a little earpiece and you can hear everything she's telling you. And she could tell you, she can pinpoint you. Look to your right, the person dressed in such and such and such. Those are pickpocketers. Move to the other side. So the tour guys try to keep you guys, in an area where you're going to be okay. But you're still traveling. So keep in mind, because sometimes, we continue to wander and go places because, you're new there and you're looking and you're not paying attention to all of your surroundings. And next thing you know, you have a situation. Keep your passport safe at all times. If you're going to take your passport with you, maybe carry it in a bag or in a shirt inside. Don't put it in a purse or anything like that. Your money, anything that you can, if you don't want to take a bag, that's fine. Just put it all in front of you where you can see everything. Don't put your phone in loose pocket. Do not put your phone. That's right, Samara. You're absolutely right. Don't put your phones or anything like that you need, in a bag. What I did, I took like my fanny pack and I just always have it to the side. And the zipper, I always have it towards my front. So I don't have it on the other side. So always keep that in mind. Even if you have to get a little lock and lock it, then you can do that because there's nothing that they can do. Don't keep anything in your pockets. Always try to be safe. Keep your eyes on your surrounding and just enjoy it and have an amazing time, guys. Have a beautiful time in Europe. Take it for what it is, because I know you guys, whenever you guys go, and for those of you that are watching or maybe watch my replay down the road, and if you either went or going or never been and you went, just put it in the comments. Let me know what you guys think. I would love to hear. your actual experience going into Europe for the first time. Our next trip is going to be in 2028. So if that's something that you might be interested, I still haven't planned it out. I am waiting for the dates to drop for that year so that I can go ahead and tell you guys ahead of time and see who wants to come along. And if you guys want to join Travel Adventures, you guys are more than welcome to. We will have an amazing time. For those of you that are here or watching the replay, if you want to come along on our MSC World Atlantic inaugural sailing, I still have some cabins available still for you guys to purchase. And if you need some information on that, give me a call. I'll be more than happy to provide you that information. I travel with my purse with splash proof sash and RFD protect. Yep, you got to do that, Donnell. You're on it. And I am waiting for Disney cruise drops. Like it's Samaras, everybody's waiting for a cruise drop. Guys, there is a sale coming down the road for Royal Caribbean. I'm going to give you guys some more information a little bit later as we're getting closer. But if you're looking to sail on Royal Caribbean, we're going to have a really good deal for you guys only here with me. And we're going to give you some really good onboard credit and specialty dining for two. So start checking your itineraries. If this is something that you might be interested, you can let me know. You only able to sail between September and March of 2027. So that is the dates, anywhere between September and March 27. Let me look it up real quick so I like to give you guys the real information. So the departures could be anywhere in the Caribbean, Western coastal itineraries, departure from September 1st, 2026 to March 31st, 2027. There's going to be some OBC, some really good OBC, and some specialty dining for two, only on balconies and suites, guys. Not everybody, only on balconies and suites. And this is a sale that we're going to be having. And it's going to be in the month of August. So if you guys are interested in something in Royal Caribbean, start looking at it. Give me a call and I can get you some pricing and tell you how much the OBC is going to be. And when the sale starts, we can be ready to roll and just book that cruise for you guys. Well, guys, oh my God, it's been an hour already. This is crazy. Like time just flies when you're having a great time. So hopefully you guys are having a good Tuesday. This was all of my program today. Hopefully you guys like it. I'm hoping to get you more information. I'm trying to do something completely different here in the channel with you guys. So, it's always good to talk about different places. I think you guys like to talk about different places in cruising or traveling or things like that. So next week, we're going to be talking about, let me see. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Next week, we're going to be talking about the Royal Key. If you guys are asking what is the Royal Key, come to the show next Tuesday. We're going to be talking about the Royal Key and 7 things you should know about this key. So if you've never heard about the key, come check the program out next week. And we're going to talk about the Royal Key and all it has to offer for you guys. And with that being said, guys, I love you guys all to the moon and back. May God bless each and every one of you guys. And I will see you on the next one. Toodles for now. Love you guys. Bye-bye. Bye, guys.